Hi friends, I'm Matt Wilding. 2020 has been quite a year so far. We've had the global pandemic that Iowa has been a hotspot for the last couple of months. And in August, here in Cedar Rapids, we had a derecho with sustained high winds that destroyed 2/3 of the city's tree cover and many buildings. The Cedar Rapids Public Library has been dealing with these calamities and had to close 6 months ago and has now reopened on a limited basis. I can see from here in my condo the downtown library branch, which opened in 2013 and has been a hub of community engagement and activities and events. Let's go over there and see how it's going. Dara Schmidt is the director of the Cedar Rapids Public Library. I asked her what was different for visitors now.
So, the time limitation, I think, is one of the most significant differences initially, because you're used to being able to come into the library and kind of hang out all day and spend the time that you want to spend there. And to discourage that, I mean, we've got signage everywhere that says the limitations and the rules that are in place, but we also have removed all of the comfortable furniture because really sitting, waiting, hanging out, those are not things that we want to encourage right now. So we want people to be able to use the space, but not use the space for extended periods of time. Even in the children's area, all the toys are gone because those are hard things to clean, hard things to keep up on. And so they're just put away for now. They're not gone forever, but they are definitely put away for the immediate future. And then, of course, with public health recommendations and also with the City of Cedar Rapids mandate, we are asking that everyone who comes to the library wear a mask for the entirety of their trip to the library.
My favorite part of the library is the nonfiction section. I'll have to get by for a while without the big comfy chairs that I like to sit in. One of the things I noticed when I visited was that the library staff, a lot of them are in plexiglass, kind of big booths. And it reminded me of when I was a kid, when librarians were always behind a desk. And it's almost kind of a little bit of a throwback to those days. How's that working out?
It's a complete throwback. And so again, the recommendations are, if you're going to have a one-on-one interaction that's closer than 6 feet, which to, have an account transaction or for us to scan your card or do anything like that, like we have to be in close proximity. And so we put plexiglass barriers around all of the staff service points to allow for those individual interactions with people. And it's weird. We sometimes call them the dunk tanks. We sometimes call them the bank booths. It really does. There's a little slot where you can pass stuff through. Like it's a throwback to a lot of things. Patrons seem to be doing better with it than staff do. Like our staffing model has been absolutely like, you go out with someone and you walk them through the library and you show them things, and we're all trying really, really hard not to do that. I will say it's absolutely still happening sometimes. I'm one of the worst and I'm working on that. But that, really library staff they just want to help people. And it's better and easier to help people if you can take someone to a place versus have to kind of point. And so, yeah, our internal mantra is make it like the 80s all over again.
The time limits and other restrictions reduce the number of people that are in the library, which makes it feel pretty safe.
Because of the problems the city has been facing in 2020, the library is getting asked to do unexpected things.
The school district had a great and immediate need this first fall semester because of the derecho on top of the pandemic, and all three high school buildings were severely damaged, and kids just cannot be in there. And so the library has stable internet use, and when you open up both of the beams meeting rooms, you've got quite a bit of space, and so we're able to set up some tables and have socially distanced room for 24 students at a time. And so the school district is using that space for the duration of the semester, which also means that space will not be available to the public.
Are other libraries in the country, are they making different choices? Are there some that are still closed or maybe have different rules?
Most public libraries in Iowa are open, like the Cedar Rapids Public Library is open with some pretty significant limitations, but actually allowing people to come all the way in the building. Most major cities across the country, larger cities, are still closed. And so Chicago is open with limitations. LA is closed. New York is closed. Boston is still closed. And so, as you're looking at things, it really is a balance. And most places went through the same iteration that we did, where it's, first it's curbside pickup where it's contactless. Then you can kind of let people into the lobby or in to use the computers. You see how that goes. You make sure you're able to work with the patrons that way. And then you can expand it a little bit more.
A lot of the things that the library does are not really connected to the buildings. They're virtual services or over the internet or by telephone even. Are you seeing more people that are using the library that way?
Absolutely. And so, people didn't really, if you're a regular library user, you understood the vast variety of virtual offerings that we had. Downloadable ebooks and audiobooks, streaming video, streaming music, like all of those amazing services. What we noticed right as the pandemic first started back in the late spring was there were a lot of people who really had no idea how much you could do virtually with your library card. And so we saw 30% plus increases in usage of our digital services. And those have pretty much maintained since then. You can really get everything you need outside of the physical building, but our patrons really still want physical items, especially books.
I know you can't predict the future, but I wonder if you could try. Are there particular milestones that maybe the community needs to meet before some of the restrictions to library access can be lessened that maybe you see in the coming months?
We would really have to get 4 weeks in a row of decreased test positivity rates for us to expand time in the building and maybe lift some of the restrictions about you can come in more than once a day for more than one appointment, things like that. Really, meeting room use and in-person programming, unfortunately, those are not recommended until there is a vaccine. What's more likely to change in the next 6 months to a year is additional expanded services as we keep watching and seeing, with the new school year and things completely different for many children and families, like how can the library fill gaps in our community and in our service that we haven't seen before?
I want to thank you for all the great work that you're doing, Dara.
Well, you are welcome, and it's really easy to do good things when you've got support from the top. And so, shout out to our amazing trustees as well.
I have mixed feelings about the library reopening. I admire what the library staff does, especially this year, and how they are responding to what the city needs. But I also miss how the library used to be. We'll visit the library in the future on this vlog to see how it's going.